right, Chris, take us through this slow motion of our two competitors.
These two players both throw at the exact same speed, but you watch Kelly create her speed with footwork, and Michelle will create it with just pure power. Kelly's backswing's much higher. That combined with her foot speed allows her to catch up to the strength that Michelle has.
And some CATS data here on what Michelle has done in the left lane.
Well, and her two shots have both been pretty good. This was her strike in the third frame. Her speed initially was 17.4. She's a little bit firmer with the next shot and a little bit further right. But as the lanes are breaking down, that turned out to be the right move, and that struck as well.
So she has struck in all of the odd numbered frames. But this is the sixth. Now, is that just a rotten break?
It really is, but she hasn't thrown a shot good on that lane since practice. And so she was really guessing. She stuck in the second frame. The fourth frame, she missed the lane to the right. This is a really good one. Crosses about the 18th board, gets just to the right of that tracer, but it came off of it harder than it did the last time she threw a good shot. Leaves the solid 9.
Converted easily by Michelle Feldman. That makes him happy at the Falcon Bowling Center in Auburn, New York, where Michelle is the proprietor there when she's not out competing in these tournaments at a high level. And she has a well-known coach also helping her out as her advisor. Her consigliere is the 2006 Queens champion, Shannon Blahowski. And Shannon bowled well, but wasn't quite able to make the show here, but cashed. That's a crossover and almost got a huge break. But instead, this 10-pin for Michelle Feldman. So that's the first time on that lane she didn't strike.
Yeah, and she looked surprised too. Thought last time when Kelly bowled in that left lane that she thought she threw a good shot, but she was not as end over end. It came off it a little bit harder. That shot hooked very early. She's going to have to make a big move now.
Each player has an open frame that happened both in the fourth. So it's a tight match. And Kelly Kulick looking for something she hasn't had since the second frame. That's a strike.
All the practice.
Kelly, by the way, chose not to have an advisor, but her mom, Carol, is here. Well, she made the adjustment, got the kick on the 10. Her first strike since frame number 2 gives her the 7-pin advantage.
She had just made a huge move to the right. She crossed the arrows that time at 9. That was about 6 boards right at the arrows of her last shot. Her last shot was at 15. This one crosses 9. She's still looking to get at this spot right there, which she does do, but she does it from a completely different angle, controls the mid lane. See if it works here on this left lane.
It did. Absolutely flush and a double for Kelly Kulick. Well, head down to your local bowling center and get signed up for a USBC certified league. It is fun for the whole family. To find a center near you and learn more about the benefits of USBC membership, log on to bowl.com. So now down by 17, Michelle Feldman. Little baby split there, still struggling to find that line on that lane.
Well, she made the ball change from the ball with a 500 grit to a shinier ball, and trying to get her angles more in front of her as well. This is just a bad guess, unfortunately. Ball pushed too far through the mid lane. She's got some big troubles now. The right lane is not picking up that much for her. The left lane is hooking a lot. She needs to hit this pin on the left side and use the ball to hit both.
Well, Michelle Feldman shaking her head, a little frustrated with herself. And she's had an amazing career, but we asked her, what's next?
The U.S. Open is left for Michelle. I think that's pretty much going to be it, unless pretty much Queens is going to be my week away from now on. I'm pretty much going to bowl maybe a lot of stuff at home, but as in being a professional anymore, that's going to be pretty much over with.
And she mixes them up. That is the Michelle Feldman we saw in qualifying that time with that power game. But she is down by 30. as Kelly Kulick gets ready here in the foundation frame.
Well, and this problem started in practice. They started out too far left with too much surface, broke the front part of the lane down to the left, pushed oil down to the right, and made the lanes more difficult rather than the rest of the week, where the girls mostly played where Kelly's playing now and made the lanes easier as they went along.
A little high, and maybe an opening for Michelle Feldman.
A really good place to play.
I think you would agree with that, Chris.
They got swirly really quick.
Yeah, and that's just it. She has hook to her left. She has a little oil to her right. This shot was pretty close to the first one, a little bit inside of target. Just a little bit soft, and that was enough to make it go high.
Take a punishment. And all of a sudden, that lead cut exactly in half.
Well, the scenario is this. Feldman with a strike up in the ninth can strike out for 192. Kelly will need a double and 6 to shoot 193 and shut Michelle out. Anything less than that, Michelle can stand up and throw 2 strikes and win.
On the left lane, a little high again. So there's still hope for Michelle Feldman.
Last shot in this lane at 9.5. This one's at 10.5 crossing the arrows. A little too far up the lane. It's really key for her playing straight to be able to get right up the back of it so that it doesn't take off left when she misses in. Those last 2 shots, she both got over it just a little bit.
So Kelly Kulick's max is now 187. That's assuming that she'll convert this and then strike. We've seen a lot of head shaking from both these bowlers. I mean, the scores have generally been much higher than this in qualifying, but you know, the conditions here are a lot different. You've got the lights, you've got the live television, and a lot of money at stake.
You have that, and then you have not the best strategy in practice, to be honest. I thought these 2 players should have played them further right in the track when they broke them down in practice and then moved left, but they started left from the very beginning.
Mixing them up, and so she'll wind up with a 186.
Michelle Feldman will now have to stand up and throw 2 strikes and 5. To advance to match number 2.
Where Missy Bellender awaits. You know, it's one of the best balls she's thrown on that lane, and it just didn't work.
It is. She threw the mission the last time, and it went too long on her. This time she used the ball with surface on it, went back to what she knew, and it just didn't work out. A flat 10.
So Kelly Kulick will win this match. He'll take on Missy Bellender. It's an East Coast, West Coast next match. The Orange County, the OC is well represented. We're in spots 1, 2, and 3 here, Chris. Missy will be the first Southern Californian of 3 to get on the lanes. Strong tournament for Michelle Feldman. She was a joy to watch in qualifying. And Kelly Kulick is the winner by 16, 186 to 170. Kelly advances up the stepladder to take on Missy Bellender. So it's Kulick who continues her run. May not have been her best game, but it was good enough to get the victory and to move on a little closer to the tiara of the 2010 USBC Queens from El-Paso.